Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is the best anime movie ever. And now you're like, oh, what about the sound voice? What about your name? Or shut up. Okay? To be quite frank, this movie is great. The visuals are amazing, characters are great, and Yuta. Let's hop straight into this one. Mappa truly outdid themselves this film. Even with the starting scenes with Yuta getting dressed and all the architecture and greenery and stuff like that, it was so detailed, and even the characters. They looked like they poured every ounce of life into this film. Compared to the ugly stepchild Mappa had to animate this year, this is a huge step up, and I might even say this is their best work so far this year. One of the things I like the most about this film is the lead, Yuta Okutsu. He's a nice parallel from Yuji and has a much different motivation than Yuji for being at Jujutsu Tech. Yuji is an alpha male Chad, while Yuta is a Sigma and slowly becomes a Chad. I like the build up, and it kind of reminds me of a certain green hair protagonist that I made a video about. I don't know, I forget his name though. Yuta isn't a natural born sorcerer, sort of. It's a little confusing. So he progresses throughout the movie, and by the end, Yuta is a much different person from the beginning, which I think that's pretty cool. The supporting cast are from the show, but it's first years this time. There's nothing really special about them, but let's get into the real meat and potatoes, guys. Maki Zenin. I saw the movie in theaters with my girlfriend, so I couldn't really react, but when she did that split thing, Lord have mercy, forgive me for what I'm about to do. But it was nice that we didn't have to establish these other characters. It gave me more time to focus on Yuta. Let me be the first to say, this movie's pretty long, but it's able to squeeze in a lot of content, but it doesn't feel like it's taking too long or dragging on, even after watching it a second time. In the simplest explanation possible, the plot consists of Yuta trying to release his childhood sweetheart from a curse, and in order to do this, he becomes a Jujutsu sorcerer. That results in the scene where Yuta kisses Rika's gums. I actually didn't see this part in theaters, and then when I saw it the first time, like watching it in my bed, I cringed. Like, that is fucking gross, dude. Gito's original plan was to enlist Yuta, but instead, he tries to get Rika from him in order to purge the world from non-sorcerers. He's also a really nice focus in the movie since we don't see too much of him in the Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1. But I thought he was a really cool villain, but not a great one, if you get what I'm saying. He talked about how the powerful stay powerful and the weak being able to overcome the strong with overwhelming numbers. I thought it was kinda but realistically, who else would be like a good antagonist for this movie? You know, so he kinda works. He was a bit too friendly overall, and I feel like all good villains feel menacing or make you uncomfortable in a way. Like, look at Homelander, you know? I know he is an anime, but I have a legitimate fear of Homelander. Anybody should. I think that's a healthy thing to have. The main reason why there was hype around this movie was because people knew the action was gonna be like insane, either based off the manga or like off of the actual series. Like, man, they outdid themselves. Like, they truly did great in this movie. Most of it was extremely well done. It felt fun, it was over the top, and overall just really nice to look at, you know? Starting with Gojo beating the shit out of Miguel. This scene was so one-sided, and I'm all for it, you know? Then there was Nanami, and this was hard for no reason at all. Nanami told Yuji in the series that he could do Black Flash up to 4 times because he was in the zone. And we saw him do Black Flash 4 times in the theater. I was like, yo, do you see this? Sitting next to my girlfriend, she was just in there. Oh, okay. Like, bro didn't just lock the fuck in. And then the fight we were blessed with, Yuta and Geto. This was probably the best fight in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, and you cannot tell me otherwise, man. When I tell you I was hyped, I was in the back row geeking. Like, when Yuta did the Black Flash, like, I'm like, yo, do you not see what he just did? Like, nobody else realized, nobody else peeped, but I saw, he did the Black Flash off the dome. Like, that was crazy. And then his sword broke, and I was like, oh shit. But then he was just, boom, straight in his mid, dude. Like, that scene was the whole movie for me, man. Like, I had chills when I saw that, and I had chills when I saw it again, man. That scene was amazing. Yuta is overpowered and ends up using, I wrote Rita in the script, using Rika. In order to do this, we get, but he sets off this giant ball of cursed energy, which doesn't kill Geto all the way, but it does allow him to escape. The end is kind of satisfying. We get a scene where Gojo's talking to Geto but we aren't able to hear it. We see Yuta and the rest of the first years go off on some kind of mission. The movie ends like that. There is an end credit scene though where we see Miguel and Yuta and they're in Kenya and Gojo shows up. But in the second opening, we see that they're together, but like they're not in the actual show. And every time I saw the opening, I'd be like, when are they gonna show up? Like, who are these people?
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
But yeah, this was a great movie. I think it does a good job of building what the show already had, while also being a prequel. This movie feels like it's its own adventure, and it almost makes me forget that Yuji's the main character. I wish we could see more Yuta in his endeavors, rather than Yuji, but I am looking forward to Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. Now excuse me while I go rewatch Tamaki and Yuta fight again.